Production by Liang Gu, author of Dead Water Wen Yiduo. Still water. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. The breeze cannot blow any ripples. It's better to throw away more junk metal. Just throw in your leftovers. Maybe the copper will turn green into emerald. A few peach blossoms rusted out on the tin can. Let the grease weave a layer of luochi again. The mold steamed up some clouds for him. Let the dead water ferment into a ditch of green wine, full of pearl-like white foam. The laughter of the small beads turned into big beads. He was bitten by a mosquito that stole wine. Such a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. It can be said to be somewhat vivid. If the frog can't stand the loneliness. The stagnant water sang again. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. This is by no means a place of beauty. It's better to let ugliness take over the cultivation. Look what kind of world he creates. Spring. It was as quiet as being in trance, that day the bamboo. That day, the dense leaves on the bamboo could not cover the coral. That green peach, the lucky sparrow in Chaotuan. The spring light crawled over the green leaves. Suddenly a ray of sunlight flashed across my eyes. Thousands of golden arrows flew out of my eyes. The sound of wings rubbing came to my ears again. It seems like there are a group of angels patrolling in the sky. Suddenly, a clear sound burst out from the deep alley. Have mercy on me, the blind man, sir and madam. Dusk. Dusk is a slow and stupid black cow, walking down the western mountain step by step. Don't close the city gate too early. You have to wait until the black bull enters the city circle. Dusk is a mysterious black cow. I wonder which realm he is a god. Every day the moon wants to send him to the city. Early in the morning the sun set over the western mountains again. I want to come back. I want to come back. Take advantage of your fist like an orchid before it blooms. Let your hair be as soft as silk, with your eyes burning with spiritual light. I want to come back. I didn't come back. Take your steps like an oar in the wind. When your mind is like a fly hitting the window. Take advantage of the silver bells in your laughter. I didn't come back. I should come back. When your eyes are in a coma. Take a breath of cold wind to blow out the remaining lamp. A cold hand came and snatched you away. It's time for me to come back. I'm back. The flying fireflies are lighting up their lanterns to shine on you. When the sad partridge cries in your ears. When you fall asleep, take a mouthful of sand and mud. I'm back. Night song. The toad shuddered. A woman emerged from the loose pile. There was no shadow beside the woman. The moonlight is so clear. A woman emerged from the loose pile. There are no cracks on the loose pile. Not even an earthworm was disturbed. Or break a net rope. There was a woman sitting under the moonlight. The woman's appearance is like youth. The scarlet shirt is bloody and ferocious. The loose hair is draped all over the body. The woman was pounding her chest and heart in Haodao. The toad was just chilling. The wild chicken in the distant village screamed. The woman was missing from the pile of loose. Heartbeat. This light, these light-bleached walls. This virtuous table and chair are as close as friends. The paper fragrance of this ancient book hits me in waves. The best teacup is as white as a virgin. The suckling child cries in his mother's arms. Snoring reports the news of my eldest son's health. This mysterious quiet night, this round peace. A song of thanks vibrates in my throat. But the song immediately turned into a curse. Quiet night. I can't take your bribe. Who cares about the peace within your walls? Minecraft also has wider borders. These four walls not only separate the hustle and bustle of constant war. Is there any way you can stop my heartbeat? It would be best to fill this mouth with sand and mud. Like others who only sing about personal condolences. It would be better if the head were used to dig burrows for field mice. Let this mass of flesh and blood also feed the corpse worms. If it's just for a glass of wine and a book of poetry. The pendulum swings in the quiet night to feel leisurely. I can't hear the moans of your neighbors. The trembling figures of widows and orphans are not visible. The convulsions in the trenches, the madman biting the sickbed. And all kinds of tragedies under the grinding mill of life. Happiness. I can't accept your private bribes now. My world is not within these 1-foot square walls. Listen. There was another burst of gunfire, and the god of death roared. Quiet night. How can you stop my heartbeat? Discover. I'm here, I shouted, bursting with blood and tears. This is not my China, no, no. I am coming. Because I heard you call me. Whipping the strong wind of time, holding a fire. I came, but I didn't know it was an empty celebration. What I meet is a nightmare. Where are you? It was horror, a nightmare hanging on a cliff. That's not you, that's not my love. I asked the blue sky, forcing the wind from all sides. I asked, beating the earth's naked chest with my fist. I can't get any news, I cry and call you. Vomit out a heart, in my heart. Pray. Please tell me who is Chinese. Enlighten me how to hold the memory tightly. Please tell me the greatness of this nation. Tell me gently, don't make any noise. Please tell me who is Chinese. Who has the heart of Yao and Shun? Whose blood is the blood of Jing Ku and Nie Zheng? Who is the legacy of Shennong and Huangdi? Tell me that wisdom is miraculous, dash. It is said to be a ritual offered by a hippopotamus. Also told me the rhythm of this song. It turned out to be the teaching of nine-breasted phoenix. Who told me about the silence of Gobi? And the solemnity of the 5 mountains? And tell me. The stone of Mount Tai is still dripping with patience. Does the yellow river flow harmoniously again? Tell me again, that drop of clear tear. Is it the sadness of Confucius mourning the death of Lin? You have to tell me about that crazy laugh. Zhuangzhou, Chunyukuan, Dongfang Shua's smile. Please tell me who is Chinese. Enlighten me how to hold the memory tightly. Please tell me the greatness of this nation. Tell me gently, don't make any noise. In a word. There is a saying that means disaster. There is one sentence that can light a fire. Don't look at it, it hasn't been revealed for 5,000 years. Can you guess the silence of the volcano? Maybe he suddenly became obsessed. Suddenly there was a thunderbolt in the blue sky. Explosion. Our China. How should I say this today? I don't believe that iron trees can bloom. Then there is a sentence for you to listen to. When the volcano could no longer hold its silence. Don't tremble, stick out your tongue, stamp your feet, dash. Waiting for a thunderbolt in the blue sky. Explosion. Our China. Deserted village. The distance of 180 miles between Linhuai Pass and Lianyuan town has been safely cut off from human habitation. All the residents of the villages on both sides of the road were evacuated. Farmers' furniture and wooden utensils were tied together with ropes and sunk in nearby ponds and rice fields to avoid being burned by fire. There are no doors or windows, and the interior is blocked with coffins or stones. At night, there are no lights. Chickens, dogs, and pigs are foraging in the wild. There is no one to guard it either. There are roses and peonies blooming in the corners of the wall. The new rice seedlings are green and pleasant. Ignorance of grass and trees, how can this be called ignorance? The news, May 19th, 16th year of the Republic of China. Where did they all go? Why? The toad squatted on the steamer, and the white lotus bloomed in the water ladle. Tables, chairs, and benches were floating in the weir in the fields. The spider's rope bridge leads from the east room to the west room. A coffin is built into the door frame, and stones are built into the window lattice. How strange and miserable this sight was. The sickle made it rust and almost turned into mud. The entire fishing net was left to rot in the ashes. Oh my God! No village like this can keep them. The roses bloom endlessly, and the lotus leaves grow into umbrellas. The rice seedling needles are so sharp, the lake is so green. The sky is so blue and the sound of birds is as round as dewdrops. How green are these seedlings? Who calls the flowers red? Whose blood and sweat is mixed in this mud? Go with such determination. Such free and easy. But what are the difficulties and what wishes have you made? Now someone can tell them, here. Pigs wandered up the road, ducks burrowed among the pigs. The rooster trampled the peony, and the cow ate the vegetables. Tell them that the sun has set, and the cattle and sheep do not come down from the mountains. Dark shadows are waiting on the post. The mountains of Sai are like dragons, snakes, tigers and leopards. They looked at each other and shuddered. Everyone lowered their heads and no longer dared to look. You have to tell them this too, they remember the usual. The dusk is getting colder, and the poplar trees are trembling in the wind. At that time, all I had to do was stand on the top of the mountain and shout. The mountain road is too dangerous, and the owner is here to help. Then the sound of the flute sent them through the gate. How fragrant the straw is and how warm the house is. Thinking of this, they shed a tear. Everyone was huddled together, with their faces pressed against their faces. Go. Go tell their masters, tell them. Tell them everything and hide nothing from them. Call them back. Call them back. Ask them why they don't care about their own livestock. Don't they know that animals are the same as children? Poor beasts, how courageless they are. Hello. Where did your messenger go? Tell them quickly, tell the third child of the Wang family, dash. Tell Zhou De and their 8 brothers. Tell the bankers in Linhuiguan area. He also told the red-faced blacksmith Lao Li. Tell One-Eyed Dragon, tell Su Banxian. Tell Aunt Huang and all the women in the village. Tell them these many things, one by one. Call them back, call them back. How strange and miserable this sight was. Oh my God! Such villages cannot keep them. Tell Aunt Huang and all the women in the village. Tell them these many things, one by one. Call them back, call them back. How strange and miserable this sight was. Oh my God! Such villages cannot keep them. In such a paradise, there is no human habitation in sight. Sin. The old man struggled with his burden. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. The old man got up and shivered. I know my sin today. My hand is broken, old man, look at it. Oh. They're all crushed, what a cherry. Old man, are you sick? Why are you so silent and silent? I know my sin today. My son kept urging me when I got up early in the morning. My son was lying on the bed, trembling. He scolded me for not leaving the city. I knew it was getting late today, that I didn't expect to fall asleep all of a sudden. What should I do? What should I do? How will the family eat later? The old man picked it up and dropped it again. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. Tiananmen Square. Good guy. It scared me today. My legs are still trembling now. Look, look, they are catching up. Otherwise, why would I run like that? Sir, let me take a breath, that thing. You didn't see the pitch black. Headless, kicking, how terrible. Still waving the white flag and talking. There's really nothing you can do these days, who do you ask? It's really something that no one can do, let alone ghosts. There's still a meeting, why don't you be honest? Look, they are all children from whose family? Aren't you only 10 years old? What for? Wasn't it stabbed in the head with a gun? Sir, I heard that another person died yesterday. It's the stupid students who are in charge. There are really weird things happening these days. Some of the students drank, some ate. Our second uncle died in Yangliuking the first year. That's because I'm too hungry to serve as a soldier. Who would give away their old life to the king of hell in vain? We have never lied in our lives, I think. Just fill it with 2 tablespoons of oil, a full spoonful. Why can't I see the road while walking? I can't blame the little bald man for being scared out of his wits. I advise people not to walk through Tiananmen Square at night. Have to. Even if we are unlucky at pulling a cart. Tomorrow, Beijing will be full of ghosts. Scud. I said that Scud boy is really awkward. Guanbao had to rest for a long time after pulling the cart for a long time. If you miss one day, you will have to work 2 or 3 tails in vain. A drunken man chatted with others. Who the hell can hang out with that kid? Why is the sky blue? If nothing else, he should ask you. He's still playing the fucking flute, look at that spirit. There is a tattered cotton-padded jacket on my bed, my wife's, maybe. Look at him wiping the 2 headlights on that car again. I keep asking you how many men Chow Chow has. I keep wiping the lights and handlebars all day long. I said, Scud, why don't you wipe your face? But Scud's car was polished really brightly. Perhaps he has the same heart as his. Hi. That day there were Scud's corpses floating in the river. Scud's wife died at the wrong time. Laundry song. Laundry is the most common occupation for overseas Chinese in the United States, so international students are often asked, is your father a clothes washer? 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Laundry needs to be cleaned. 4 pieces, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. The ironer must iron it flat. I wash away the wet handkerchief of sorrow. I washed the black sweats of sin white. The grease of greed and the ashes of desire. All the filth in your house dash. Leave it to me to wash, leave it to me to wash. Copper is so smelly, blood is so fishy. You can't help but wash dirty things. Things that have been washed are still dirty. Are you patient with people ignoring it? Wash them. Wash them. You say the laundry business is too despicable. Only people from the Tang dynasty are willing to be humble. Your pastor told me. Jesus' father was a carpenter. Do you believe it or not? Do you believe it or not? You can't play tricks with soap and white water. Washing clothes is not as good as building warships. I also said this has great potential. Shedding blood and sweat to wash away other people's sweat? Are you willing to do it? Are you willing to do it? Every year, I shed a tear of homesickness. A laundry lamp in the middle of the night. You don't care whether it's despicable or not. Look where it's not clean and there's unevenness. Ask the Chinese, ask the Chinese. I wash away the wet handkerchief of sorrow. I washed the black sweats of sin white. The grease of greed and the ashes of lust. All the filth in your house dash. Leave it to me, wash, leave it to me, wash, dash. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Laundry needs to be cleaned. 4 pieces, 5 pieces, 6 pieces. Iron your clothes to a smooth finish. Mr. Wen Yiduo's desk. Suddenly all the still life spoke. Suddenly there was a roar of complaints on the desk. Cartridge moaned, "I'm so thirsty." The dictionary said the rain stains wet his back. The letter hurriedly shouted and it hurt his waist. The pen said that the cigarette ashes blocked his mouth. The brush said that matches burned his beard bald. Pencil complains that the toothbrush presses against his leg. The incense burner muttered, "These barbaric books, sooner or later they will surely knock you down." The big steel watch sighed and almost fell asleep, and its bones were rusty. The wind is coming. The wind is coming. The manuscript screamed, dash. Bai Shi said that he was clearly a water container. How do you get used to eating smelly cigar ashes? The table complains about not being able to take a bath twice a year. The inkpot said, "I'll wash it for you every 2 days." What master? Who is our master? All the still lives cursed in unison, dash. If life were such a mess, it would be better to have no life at all. The master smiled while biting his pipe. All sentient beings should be in their proper place. How could I ever intentionally harm you? Order is beyond my power. In the garden. You start singing, yesterday, in the garden. Please sing like a jade cup shattering after falling. Bloody wine splattered all over the ground. Then simulate the fine sand in your palm. The sound slipped from between the fingers. If you sing, today, in the garden. When you sing like a stream of living water, flowing away in the rising sun. Or like the schoolchildren in the window corner of the village school. He recited his textbook like a ball. If you can sing, tomorrow, in the garden, you should think of our purple and white school flag. You will sing the rhythm of fluttering flags in the wind. At the end, he stood up from his seat and saluted with his forehead and hands. You must sing like a military band. 1. Loneliness is sealed in the garden. The loneliness of not turning on the fan. The loneliness of unbroken water. Sparrow. Scream, scream. Let out your arrow-like tone. Shoot through this solid loneliness. But the bird couldn't call out after all. Loneliness is still sealed in the garden. In this dreary loneliness. The red leaves soaked in rain. Only some silver-red clouds remain. The rain has washed away yesterday's glory. In this dreary loneliness. Golden glaze glazed tiles. It's the broken scales and armor of a dead dragon. floating in all directions. In this gloomy loneliness. Marble, mica, turquoise, white marble. The steps of the tortoise, the broken railings. Lying vertically and horizontally in the basil bushes. Like bones exposed on the battlefield. In this sad loneliness. The long-haired willow tree still looks like a palace concubine. Can was crying and crying by the gelled pool. A half-awake snail on the wall. Dragging out the jagged and slanted seal script. It's like a page of history that has been written wrongly. In this terrifying loneliness. The barren moon often hangs on the pine branches. Like a hanged zombie. In this terrifying loneliness. The crazy Yuer hanged herself on a pine branch. In this boring loneliness. The ruined palace turned into a temple of earth. Like a trembling farmer ghost. Sneak into the garden quietly. He quietly burned incense and kowtowed. Sneaked out of the garden quietly again. Loneliness was sealed in the garden again. Loneliness is sealed in the garden. The loneliness of not turning on the fan. The loneliness of unbreakable water. Everything is dull and gloomy. Everything is sad and terrifying. Everything is boring. 2. All right. The baby is moving. Rueji was born in the lonely garden. Purple Ganoderma lucidum, white Ganoderma lucidum. Decorated with mysterious wuyuan. Ganoderma lucidum is born, new life is coming. Okay, lively boy. They crowded into the garden one after another. The brain is hungry, the heart is burning. The boy tensed his muscles. From the east end of the Great Wall, through Shanhaiguan. Wrapped in a big cloak, he ran into the garden. From the west end of the Great Wall, through Tongguan. He was pulled into the park in a donkey cart. Walking into the garden from the rapids of the Three Gorges. Drifted across the South China Sea, drifted across the East China Sea. The boy who drifted across the Yellow Sea and the Bohai Sea. Shaking the Tuanluo fan, he burst into the garden. A charming young man. The blue shirt is swaying with the ripples of the West Lake. Floating into the garden gracefully. The young people came, Ganoderma lucidum grew all over the garden. Everything is just fresh, everything is just bright. Ganoderma lucidum keeps growing in the garden. The teenagers are constantly working hard in the garden. 3. Then the dawn awakened the east. It's like a thought that is gradually becoming clearer. The morning rooster crows, the morning star is gone. The sun has turned over. The golden light is plated on the dome of the copper cup. Golden light burned on the glazed tiles like dragon scales. The golden light traces on the flagpole on the top of the tall building. Golden light shines on the trembling pine branches. The golden light kissed the boy's peach cheek. The boy stood beside the path of the sun. Looking at the beginning of Yunyu held by the 6 dragons. Like a frightened village boy. Looking at the emperor's dharma driving Shixing in the distance. Infinite admiration, filled his childish mind. The young man who got up early stood dangerously on the rockery mountain. The red lotus fluttered on the soles of his feet. The rising sun was shining brightly over his head. The boy who got up early faced the new sun. Just like facing his strict teacher. Recite the great essays of Zhuang Zhou and Chu Zi. Recite the masterpieces of Sha Wang and Mi Shi. There is no sound, the universe is holding its breath and listening. The tame sparrow flew down to the ground to listen. The goldfish floated up to the surface of the pond to listen. The young man faced the new sun, reciting the textbook of his life. Ah! A young man who constantly strives for self-improvement. Who is your strict teacher? What if it weren't for this new sun? 4. Then the setting sun rose above the west. Red blood stained the universe. It's not the price of compensation for sin. It is the overflow of the surge of life. Red blood dyed the universe. Shizao stuck out the tip of her tongue and licked the red blood. Lu Yang's messy hair was spread out and bathed in red blood. The fountain threw away the silver chain inlaid with mother of pearl, roaring to lock the wandering sunset. The setting sun fell into the fountain. In the pool was a basin of bright red blood. A redder wall creeper on the red brick. A wall creeper that moves in and out of red leaves from purple stems. It was as if some blood vessels were swollen and burst. Red blood spots burst out all over the wall. Red blood surges across the sunset universe. Red blood swelled in the boy's veins. Teenagers playing in the square. The pellet is flying in space. Like a giant spirit jumping in the sky. Like teasing the extinguished sun. The teenagers kicked the extinguished sun. The young people threw away the extinguished sun. The young people stood up against the extinguished sun. The teenagers hugged the extinguished sun. Life swelled in the young man's veins. The teenagers are teasing the dying sun. The boys shouting in the sunset. Sinews and bones made of red copper. The spirit of red copper. Playing with the dying sun. 5. Then the moon peeked into the east garden. The universe is filled with clear light. The universe is like crystal cool sea water. The universe became a sea of clear light. Silver waves burst into the window lattice. Silver waves flooded the courtyard. Silver waves filled the nature. The universe sinks into the ocean. Where are the willows? Where are the pines and cypresses? In this crystal blue air. Just some dancing seaweed. There are only some standing iron corals. Embracing the majestic auditorium. It is as majestic and splendid as a dragon palace. The Chang pavilion of the dragon palace is hammered out of gold. The pillars of the dragon palace are carved from white jade. Oh! Could it be the immortal from the water country? This ethereal and imaginary boy. Drifting to the east of the dragon palace, to the west of the dragon palace? That graceful and elegant young man. Wandering to the south of the dragon palace or to the north of the dragon palace. The boy is floating on the bottom of the sea. Floating on the bottom of the clear light, dash. The clear light penetrated into the young man's heart. The pure light washed over the young man's body. Wash away the filth and drink in the clear light. The young man is the sea of clear light. Listen, where is the singing coming from? Could it be the weeping mermaid? Could it be the sharks from the deep sea? Sitting under the purple-black stone niche. One wall is woven with the silk thread of sorrow. Singing a lingering song on the side? Ah, such lingering singing. Singing to make the crystal waves of the sea tremble. Singing makes the branches and leaves of the sea trees rustle. The young man couldn't hold his head up when he sang it. Singing awakens the young man's hatred and sorrow. The young man listened to the lingering singing, awakening the sweet divine despair. Or the mysterious worries of hot offerings. A kind of without reason, without purpose. The sorrow of a young man who has only a little knowledge. For the vast universe? For the torrential beasts? For the unstoppable flow of emotions? Or is it the boat of life that cannot drop its anchor? 6. So you are gradually hid in the west garden. The shadow of the building gradually spread and filled the air. The shadows lined up in the stork formation moved forward to fight. Finally occupied the desolate courtyard. The dejected flowers and trees in the courtyard. A prisoner imprisoned by darkness. Lilacs locked under the eaves. The jasmine willows locked at the foot of the wall. With dewdrops in his mouth, teardrops in his mouth. Could it be the prisoner of Chu who was crying in Niuyi? Huajiao cried sadly. The tragic painting horn barked in the darkness. Like an excited watchdog barking at the thief dash. The sharp horn bites in the air. Bite through the magic of darkness. Biting the boy's dream. The young people put aside their sweet dreams and jumped up from their beds. The teenagers have declared war on the darkness. Ah, how does the sound of the trumpet in the quiet night make you cry? The hearts of the young people melted with tears. The hearts of 500 warriors merged into one. There are candles burning upstairs. There are candles burning downstairs. The teenagers are having a meeting. The teenagers are working hard. The bronze chimes of the Three Flags camp have been reported to the Fifth Watch. Reporting that the journey of darkness is coming to an end. Boys, light another candle. He endured this dark end. Dawn has returned. New life is here again. Everything is fresh and bright again. Everything is hope and hard work. Hungry brain, burning heart. The boys tensing their muscles. Out of hope comes hope. Lively young people. He continued to work hard in the garden. 7. Then. One day in the garden yesterday. Hidden into the history of ignorance. Today in the garden has replaced yesterday. Then the stormy sky. Finally, the body became clear. Yongmu's blue light illuminates everything. The boundless blue sky. It highlights the magnificent pavilion. The magnificent pavilion. It's like an emperor's palace. The dawn bell of Penglai rang. 1,000 civil and military officials, a nephew of Rong Di. His Highness Zi Chen gathered in Chui Wei. Worshipped the king of documents. The solemn pavilion. It's like a Buddhist temple or a Brahma temple. The twilight chime above rang. Monks with a will as strong as a dragon or an elephant. A group gathered in front of the statue of the Buddha of Reason. Burning pious incense. Oh, palace of documents. Oh, sane temple view. Standing in the blue sky. You are the Academy of Oriental Huazhou. You are an ally of world culture. 8. Floating. The purple and white flag. Floating, turning into clouds and swaying. The purple air supported by white clouds. The mist is on this, water, wood, and Qinghua, scenery. So that the eyes of thousands of people here are looking at you. So that the hearts of thousands of people here will be towards you. Thousands of people here are still working hard. Work like a pine tree in a garden. Stretching out the root claws of their reason. Digging out the flesh of the earth. Tearing the bones of the earth apart. To suck the essence of the earth into the earth. So that I can vent my vomit toward the red sun in the sky. Thousands of people here are still working silently. Work like the western hills outside the garden. Silently nourishing the vegetation. The hot springs overflowed silently. Carrying the Futu Imperial Garden silently. Spring and summer are bathed in rain and dew. Autumn and winter wear scars of frost and snow. But he always works in silence. Thousands of people working hard here. It's not like Western-style machinery. The big gear pulls the small gear. Turning completely unconsciously, turning completely aimlessly. But only work for their ideals. For their 4,000 years of ideals. The teachings of ancient sages and sages are to work hard. The school flag is covered in snow. You are floating on a 100-foot-tall building. A closer look at the capital. Looking at the Great Wall from afar. You shine upon the heart of New China. Ah, unfold the history of the 4,000 years of culture. Alert all people, enlighten all people. Give them inspiration, give them spirit. The school flag is full of clouds. At the time of confrontation between Eastern and Western cultures, you are the military flag for thousands of people again. The time for tens of thousands of people to bear the burden of thorns has passed. The time for tens of thousands of people to suffer hardship has passed. 10,000 people want 4,000 years of culture. Fight against the mighty hegemony. The school flag is full of clouds. You are the purple energy from the east. You drift out of Hanggu Pass and head west. You will carry with you the souls of our saints. It permeated the Western land and warmed the whole world. Gone. The purple and white flag. Gone. Turning into clouds and swaying. The purple energy supported by white clouds. The mist is on this water, wood, and Tsinghua scenery. Don't let the thousands of people here forget your significance. Don't let the thousands of people here forget your significance. Second draft, March 16, 1923. Originally published in Tsinghua Life, published on April 28, 1923. Tsinghua University's 12th anniversary issue. Yuyang Chu. The light at the end of the day shines on Zhu Meng. On the danshi, 2 pairs of Tonging silently knelt. The banquet guests filled the west wing. The tigers in the high hall are perched on their master. In the high hall sits the majestic master. Ding dong, ding dong. Silence filled the hall. Another drummer. Playing in front of the hall. This drum sound is different. Ding dong. Ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? Silver cup and jade plate. I can't taste the swallow's breast and dragon's liver. The cormorant ladle pours out wine like a spring. The symphony of cups and plates became sonorous. A smile crumpled all over the owner's face. Ah, the smile crumpled all over the master's face. Ding dong. Ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. It is as clear as crane tears. It is as thin as a chanting cricket. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? You see, this drummer doesn't look like an ordinary person. He is a scholar and a scholar, so he must have poems and books in his belly. He arranges more elegant music. Clumsy drums are not his tools. These drums and drums are not tools in this hand. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Like a cold spring flowing. Like rain hitting the sycamore tree. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? Look at him beating the lingun drum, with his eyes raised to the sky. You see him making a long arc in front of the court. Then he slowly climbed up the stairs. One step at a time, the drum beats louder and louder. Ah, the sound of the drums becomes more and more lively. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Suddenly became anxious. Suddenly he became shinxiong again. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. The sound of Kankan's drum shook the house. He walked onto the high hall and looked around. He saw the hall full of cowering pigs and sheep. Among them is a tiger grinding its teeth. He wanted to tease this tiger. Ding dong, ding dong. This drum sound is different. This is not a hymn. Nor is its singing ability. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. He strode towards the host's seat, but was hurriedly blocked by a class official. Rude slave, the official yelled. Why don't you put on your uniform and just rush forward? You don't put on your uniform and just rush here. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. It's clearly a curse. Clearly a mockery. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Listen. Do you understand? Listen. Do you understand? He took the uniform, approached the railing. One by one, he took off his soap hat and shirt. Suddenly, everyone in the room didn't dare to look directly. As if seeing a fierce light. It was as if golden light was emitting from him. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. He was naked. He remained calm. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. What a difference. What a difference. The whole hall was filled with terror. The whole room was surprised. The whole hall is lonely, the shadow of the sun is under the stone railing, dash. A butterfly clad in flowers flew up. A few scattered mignonette flowers were scattered. A few mignonette flowers were sprinkled in the garden. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. Could it be that he was drunk? Could it be madness? This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. It will definitely be different. It will definitely be different. The pale yellow number reveals a bare arm. There is a silver helmet high on the head. He is now in full costume. Now he is a polite slave. Now he is a polite slave. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Like wild waves hitting the shore. Like a thunderbolt soaring into the sky. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. He wandered around in front of the host's table. The drums became more and more passionate and generous. The master stopped the jade cup and held the elephant chopsticks. The master's face had already turned gray. Ah, why does the master's face turn so gray? Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. The beating will make you scared. It makes you feel numb. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. Rampant drums roared in the courtyard. The master's shame choked his throat. The master will evoke majesty and vomit anger, dash. Unexpectedly, another burst of drum sound hit my heart. Put out his anger. Ding dong, ding dong. The sound of this drum is different. Like a fish and a dragon walking through the gorge. Elephants and soldiers clash. This drum sound is different. Ding dong, ding dong. Different, different. Different, different. The drums in the hall suddenly started laughing. The master in the hall just sat in a daze. Filled with laughter, the 4 feasts were full of laughter. The sound of drums broke the trader's courage. The drum beat broke the master's courage again. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. The host at the table. Not moving at all. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. It will definitely be different. It will definitely be different. The remaining light of the day bypasses the carved couplets. There are no more twinkling shadows on the danchi. Bored guests filled the hatchback. Sitting blankly in the high hall was their master. The dejected master sat in the high hall. Ding dong, ding dong. This drummer is different. Punished the national traitors. The court humiliated the hero. This drummer is different. Ding dong, ding dong. What a difference. What a difference. Originally published in Novel Monthly, Volume 16, Number 3, published on March 10, 1925. Great heat. Today is the great summer festival and I'm going home. Today's calendar he advised me to go home. He said that the great summer festival in his hometown. It's the time when the turtle dove calls for rain. The summer heat has arrived, and purple chicken heads are floating on the lake. Great summer is when I go home. I'm going home, it's a hot day today. The loofah in our garden climbed up the tree. A small gourd with many silver threads. Hanging on the vines and trembling. The first cucumbers are as small as olives. Oh! If you don't go home this year, which year will you stay? Today is a hot day and I have to go home. Yenner sat on top of the truss and spoke. A village girl with a slanted head and bare feet. Selling lotus pods called out in front of the door. The frogs are making trouble in the west of the painting hall, and in the east of the painting hall. Not going home today will let down Dao Xiangfeng. Today is a hot day, I want to go home. The dusk in my hometown is full of salt rats. Enjoying the cool weather under the moonlight and listening to threshing of rice. Lying down and watching the stars, sitting and playing the flute. The egret sneaks onto the ship to sleep. I'm going home too, I'm going home. Originally published in issue 106 of Beijing News Supplement, on April 1, 1925. Oral Confession. I won't lie to you, I'm not a poet, even though I love Shiraishi's steadfastness. Green pines and sea. The crow carries the setting sun on its back. The dusk is woven with bat wings. You know I love heroes, and I also love mountains. I love a national flag fluttering in the wind. From goose yellow to bronze chrysanthemums. Remember my food is a pot of bitter tea. But there is another me, are you afraid of me? Thoughts like flies crawling in trash cans. Take back. That day, as long as fate is willing to let us go. Don't be afraid, although you have to walk through a black hole, You walk boldly, let me hold your hand, There is no need to ask where the dark wind is coming from. Just remember what I said today, pay attention to that. A handful of tenderness, a few kisses, pay attention to those smiles. They were all picked up, and there was no difference, mark my words, dash. Picking it up, there is also a string of coral-colored heartbeats. I am sorry that you have suffered so much today. My heart longs for my heart. It's time for you to pick it up at that time, and pick it up happily. Pick up the gold we lost today. Those stained fragments are all our love. Pick it up and put it on. You wear the round light of love. Let's go again, whether it's hell or heaven. You swear by the sun. You swear by the sun and call the geese on the horizon. Talk about your loyalty. Okay, I completely believe you. I am not surprised even if passion brings tears. It's just that you want to talk about dry seas and broken rocks. Then laugh to death. In just one breath of my life. Not enough for me to be intoxicated? What about permanent love? You know I only have one breath of covet. Come and tighten my heart, come quickly. Ah, you go, you go. I had already settled your decision and it's not like I changed my mind. Eternal has been promised to others long ago, and the chaff is my portion. What others get is your essence, the immortal thousand springs. Don't you believe it? Suppose one day death takes out your monogram. Are you leaving? Go. To fall in love with his arms. Tell him about the unchanging chastity. What dream? A row of wild geese hurriedly crossed the Tianhe River. Han Yan's cry passed through her heart. People, people, she sighed, dash. Where are you calling me? Dusk embraced the terror and pushed straight towards her. A ball of sharp pain settled in her heart. Oh my God, she cried. What on earth is this? What's the point? The road is so long, and the journey is at night. She stood on the threshold of life and death, still uncertain. Depressed. Boring, she thought, I will never, ever end you. The determination was written on her face, the calmness of the decision. Suddenly there was an alarm bell in the cradle, dash. My baby, she cried, dash. I will do it. What is the dream? Drummer. I hung up a leopard skin drum. I traveled around the world tapping it. I have sung all kinds of songs. I am also fed up with the endless entertainment. A corner of the setting sun hangs upside down under the eaves. I tiptoed into my village with my mango shoes. Where's our own song? She caught up and felt happy for a while. I can sing heroes, I can sing heroes. I also sing the song of a Chinese lover. If you want to ask about our own songs. God knows, I'm really flustered beyond words. But I swallowed my sorrow and called her. Bring me my Sanxian, come on, come on. This broken drum is too noisy, I want. That string plays my song. I first played with a group of white doves in the frost forest. The coral claws stepped on a pile of yellow leaves. Then you listened to the autumn insects playing in the cracks of the rocks. Suddenly, the cold rain fell on Chai Fei. Endless rain, endless tears. Lost the string. What song should we sing today? The song has already turned into tears. What? Why can't you raise your head? Ah. What to do, what to do? Come. Come on. The sorrow I brought out. I have to kiss it myself. Just let me stare at you like this. Wife. Like the cold banana outside the window looking at the moon. Let me praise you only in silence. But I can't think of a song to sing. Even if it is a straight branch cut with an axe, you see, this posture is not twisted at all. My poor man, don't doubt me, I don't blame the hand that wields the knife. Don't worry about it, and I don't want to ask. When the mountain spring reaches the bottom of the well, where will it flow? I know you can never make waves. I want you to moisturize my singing voice forever. If the last hope denies the lonely boat, dash. If you reject me, my dock, dash. I fight against the wind and waves. Returning at dusk. Who is my home, who is my destination? But, madam, in front of your majesty, you allow me not to use the 3 strings of the drum, dash. We really have no songs to sing, we dash. We are neither sons and daughters, nor heroes. Dash. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. This turns out to be nothing. Life is like meeting by chance. Let him miss it by chance. Don't blame me. Don't blame me. Tears are waiting in the eyes. As long as you say a word. One word and it will be knocked down. Don't ask me. Don't mess with me. Don't try to add fuel to the fire. My heart has long been exhausted. Better to let it sleep. Don't mess with me. Don't touch me. What are you thinking about? We met by chance. Deserve to be lightly missed. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Add a lock from now on. Don't knock on the wrong door again. It's my fault this time. Leave me alone. You see. You look at the sun like a spring silkworm after sleeping. The sun is shining brightly like yellow threads. Look at Ning Xian's red lapel on the top of the electric pole. The sleeping golden duck rests beside the old willow root. The treasure of youth is displayed in front of you again. Friends, please enjoy it right in front of your eyes. If you have eyes, please look at the mountains and hills again. But don't look beyond the mountains to see your hometown. Listen to the plum blossoms singing spring on the branches. You have to wipe away your tears and sing to him. Friends, homesickness is the most ruthless demon. He can teach you to turn the spring scenery in front of you into a desert. Look, the spring breeze has liberated the icy cold stream. The white teeth of Banksy rinse the ripples. The fine grass weaves the glaze green again. A small silver flag flutters on the poplar branches. Friends, when you see the spring in your hometown, are you afraid that your life will be over when you are old? Oh. Don't visit your hometown, friends, dash. Hometown is a thief, he can steal your heart. Maybe. Funeral song. Maybe you are really tired of crying. Maybe you need to take a nap, dash. Then tell Nighthawk not to cough. Frogs don't want to whistle, bats don't want to fly. Don't let the sun shine in your eyes. Don't let the breeze brush your eyebrows. No one can wake you up. Hold an umbrella and let the pine shade protect you while you sleep. Maybe you listen to this earthworm digging through the mud. Listen to the roots of this grass sucking water. Maybe you listen to music like this dash. More beautiful than the cursing voice. Then close your eyelids tightly first. I'll let you sleep, dash. I cover you lightly with the luss. I ask the paper money to fly slowly. Forget about her. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. The morning glow is on the petals. The fragrance of the flower heart. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Like a dream in the spring breeze. Like a bell in a dream. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. How nice it is to listen to the cricket singing. Look how tall the tomb grass grows. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. She has forgotten you. She couldn't remember anything. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. That friend in Nianhua is so good. He will teach you tomorrow. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. If anyone wants to ask, just say there is no such person. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Like a dream in the spring breeze. Like a bell in a dream. Forget her, like a forgotten flower. Tears and rain. In the prime of his life. She once shed tears of hunger and cold. That was the spring rain that Xu Sheng used to dissolve the ice. But it also symbolizes the sadness of life. The tears of his youth were like continuous rain. The sour and bitter yellow plums are ripened in secret. Now there are dark clouds, thunder and lightning. His tears poured down like summer rain. The regret in the middle of the journey, the boss wasted time. He knows that there are more bitter tears in middle age. The tears of middle age must be like the pattering of autumn rain. The elegiac song of eternal night is beating on the sycamore leaves. Who said there are no tears in the last winter of life? The tears of old age are the sum of sorrow. He still has a handful of crystallized old tears. To bloom flowers that fill the sky with sorrow. End. The dew choked in the toilet bowl. Basho's green tongue licked the glass window. The surrounding chalk walls recede. I can't fill such a big room by myself. A pot of fire is burning in my heart, waiting for a guest from afar to come. I feed the brazier with spider silk rat arrows. I also use the scales of the flower snake to chop firewood. The sound of chickens was heard, and there was a pile of ashes in the basin. A dark wind secretly touched my mouth. It turns out that the guest is right in front of me. As soon as I closed my eyelids, I followed the guest. Still water. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. The breeze cannot blow any ripples. It's better to throw away more junk metal. Just throw in your leftovers. Maybe the copper will turn green into emerald. A few peach blossoms are embroidered on the tin can. Let the grease weave a layer of silk. The mold steamed up some clouds for him. Let the dead water ferment into a ditch of green wine, full of pearl-like white foam. The laughter of the small beads turned into big beads. He was bitten by a mosquito that stole wine. Such a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. It can be said to be somewhat vivid. If the frog can't stand the loneliness. The stagnant water sang again. This is a ditch of hopeless stagnant water. This is by no means a place of beauty. It's better to let ugliness take over the cultivation. Look what kind of world he creates. Spring. It was as quiet as being in trance, that day the bamboo. That day, the dense leaves on the bamboo could not cover the coral. That green peach, the lucky sparrow in Chaotuan. The spring light crawled over the green leaves. Suddenly a ray of sunlight flashed across my eyes. Thousands of golden arrows flew out of my eyes. The sound of wings rubbing came to my ears again. It seems like there are a group of angels patrolling in the sky. Suddenly, a clear sound burst out from the deep alley. Have pity on me, the blind man, sir and madam. Quiet night. This light, the four walls bleached by the light. These virtuous tables and chairs, as close as friends. The fragrance of paper from ancient books comes to me in waves. The best teacup is as pure and pure as a virgin. The nursing child sips in the mother's arms. Snoring reports the news of my eldest son's health. This mysterious quiet night, this round peace. A song of thanks vibrates in my throat. But the song immediately turned into a curse. Quiet night. I can't take your bribe. Who cares about the peace within your walls? Minecraft also has wider borders. These four walls not only separate the hustle and bustle of constant war. Is there any way you can stop my heartbeat? It would be best to fill this mouth with sand and mud. Like others who only sing about personal condolences. It would be better if the head were used to dig burrows for field mice. Let this mass of flesh and blood also feed the corpse worms. If it's just for a glass of wine and a book of poetry. The pendulum swings in the quiet night to feel leisurely. I can't hear the moans of your neighbors. The trembling figures of widows and orphans are not visible. The convulsions in the trenches, the madman biting the sickbed. And all kinds of tragedies under the grinding mill of life. Happiness. I can't accept your private bribes now. My world is not within these 1-foot square walls. Listen. There was another burst of gunfire, and the god of death roared. Quiet night. How can you stop my heartbeat? An idea. Your everlasting mystery. Your beautiful lie. You stubbornly questioned, you flashed a golden light. A little sense of intimacy, a burst of fire. A vague voice, what are you? I have no doubt, this cause and effect is not false at all. I know the ocean doesn't lie to his waves. Since it's the rhythm, we shouldn't complain about the song. Ah. Violent spirit, you subdued me. You surrendered me. Your gorgeous rainbow. Don't touch the memories of more than 5,000 years. Now I just ask how to hold you tightly. You are so arrogant and beautiful. Discover. I'm here, I shouted, bursting with blood and tears. This is not my China, no, no. That I came because I heard you calling me, flashing the strong wind of time, holding a fire. That I came, I didn't know it was an empty joy. What I met was nightmare. Where is you? That is horror, it is a nightmare hanging on a cliff. That's not my favorite. I asked the blue sky, forcing the wind from all sides. I asked, beating the earth's naked chest with his fist. I can't get any news, I cry and call you. Vomit out a heart, in my heart. Sin. The old man struggled with his burden. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. The old man got up and shivered. I know my sin today. My hand is broken, old man, look at it. Oh. They're all crushed, what a cherry. Old man, are you sick? Why are you so silent and silent? I know my sin today, that my son has been urging me since I got up early in the morning. My son was lying on the bed, trembling. He scolded me for not leaving the city. I knew it was getting late today, that I didn't expect to fall asleep all of a sudden. What should I do? How will the family eat later? The old man picked it up and dropped it again. The ground is covered with white apricots and red cherries. The sun chants. The sun that hurts my heart. And forced away the wanderer's dream of returning home. Plus he has 12 hours of 9-winded Ilium. The sun that burns like fire. The dried grass is dewy at the tip and bottom. Can it dry up the wanderer's eyes to the point of tears? The sun. The sun driven by 6 dragons. Save me from having to endure this whole day of reprieve. So why not just run through 5 years in one day? Oh sun, the speedy golden crow, the sun. Let me ride you around the earth once a day. You can also see your hometown once a day. The sun. The new sun rises at the corner of the building. Didn't he just come from our east? Is my hometown still safe at this moment? The sun from my hometown. Isn't it time that the lower-level officials in Beijing are wrapped in autumn? Well, I am as haggard as late autumn. The sun. The ever-running sun. You seem homeless too. Ah. Your life experience and mine are equally unimaginable. Oh, the sun that never ceases to improve itself. Maybe the universe is your hometown. Could you point me in the direction of my hometown? Sun, this is not like my mountains and rivers. Sun. The situation here has a different color. The tunes the birds sing here are particularly sad. Oh sun, the sun of the fire of life. But who doesn't know that you are the most passionate person in the eastern half of the world? At the same time, he is Zhiguang, the bottom half of the ball. The sun is also the sun in my hometown. Now I can't go back to my old hometown. Even if I regard you as my hometown, I will pay for myself. Oh sun, merciful sun that shines all over. When I see you in the future, I will treat you as if I am going home for once. My hometown is not underground but in heaven. Red beans, 42 songs in total. 1. I feel lovesick like red beans. Grain by grain. Falling into the magnetic altar of life. Listen to his jumping bottom voice. So miserable. So clear. 2. Lovesickness is on fire. There are tears falling. It burned a little better. The most difficult thing to ban is. It was sudden. I can't wait to cry because of my lovesickness. 3. Consciousness travels on the bottom road of time, dash. Every time a red flag is planted. That is. The level set by acacia. Block pedestrians. Extorting road donations. 4. The curling seal smoke. It's Guli's article. A poem that understates lovesickness. 5. For example, there is a fragment of moonlight. I stole it and crawled on your pillow. Stinging your tired eyes. It makes you stay up all night. Do you hate him? Then this is lovesickness. 6. Lovesickness is like a silent mosquito. Taking a sneaky bite. There was a sudden pain. After that, there was a burst of itching. 7. My heart is an undefended empty city. I was suddenly attacked by lovesickness in the middle of the night. My heart is shining. Just a fall. I only hope. He slaughtered and burned them without mercy and then left. Who knew he would occupy it forever? Has the palace wall been built? 8. There are 2 things, dash. I always want to put aside. But still reluctant to part with it. My life. For the love of my lover. 9. Love. Make me a warp. You make the weft. Destiny has woven the tapestry of our marriage. But a frame of Hui Wen Jin. Looking horizontally, it means lovesickness. Looking straight at it is lovesickness. Shun Can is lovesickness. I think it's lovesickness. Looking sideways and looking straight, I feel lovesickness. No matter how hard you look, you can't make out the word tuan one. 10. We are one. Our union. At least it is as perfect as the earth. But you are from the Eastern Hemisphere. I am from the Western Hemisphere. We shed tears again. Made this vast Pacific Ocean. Cut off ourselves. 11. The long night on the lovesick pillow. What an overwhelming boredom. But this is just one night in every year. A wave in the ocean. Love. How can I swim through the sea of time? If you pass, then this long river of time can only be tortured night by night. 12. We have one day. When they meet and kiss. If I wasn't careful. A drop of bitter tears fell. The stain hurts your pink cheeks. Don't be surprised. How many end of years are there? The rusty erotic ingredients. 13. I am a man after all. When we meet in the future. I can finish crying to you. Immediately smile at you again. You don't have to. You can look up at me. Like a wet rose. In the setting sun behind G. Dry your tears slowly. 14. I sent these poems to you. If you don't know all these words, that doesn't matter. You can use your fingers dash. Rub them gently. Like a doctor feeling the patient's pulse. You can try out. They jumped nervously, dash. The same rhythm as your heartbeat. 15. Weird lover. I saw you in my dream. It's on the back. 16. In the snowy and windy winter. Suddenly a red sun appeared. In a disheartened mood. Suddenly I felt lovesick. I didn't expect this. 17. The creditor who collects poetry debt. Sure enough, he's back. I might as well. I still have to pay for all the money I spent on my family. I really don't know yet. Then carve out the flesh of my heart. Let's pay him together. 18. I sing lovesickness songs day and night. They said I was so haggard when I sang. I will have wasted my life. Lovesickness. Did I praise you? I am a silkworm that spins all the silk. Death is my rest. Did I curse you? I am the bee at the bottom of the poisonous sword. Death is my punishment. 19. I am a frightened goose. My mouth calls you. And he will carry a reed in his mouth. Protect my life. I'm so embarrassed. 20. Inextinguishable lovesickness. Could it be a wildfire on the plain of life? The grass is green at the bottom. They are all going to be burned by him. February 1st. If it were a pond late at night. This floating on his ripples. Pale white water chestnut flowers. It's the flower of lovesickness. Oh. He was green, blood green. There is a fruit with sharp corners. 2-2. Our spring is back again. I searched all my poems. Busy writing each one post on red paper. I might as well just write a piece. Nothing is forbidden. From now on, if I make a mistake and touch a taboo, we don't have to mind. 2 or 3. We are 2 pieces of duckweed. From our gathering and dispersing speed. The same distance as the bottom distance. You can see Fonger's urgency. Langer bottom size. 24. We are partners in whipping together. We are separated lovers. The all-purpose whipped silk. Do you want us to praise you? Or a curse? 25. We weak ones are like fish. We have been blessed by. Rewatched, served in beans. Offer it in front of the etiquette niche. How glorious we are. 26. Do you understand? We had the wedding banquet according to the guests. A pair of red candles. We stood under the table. On two diagonally opposite corners. Quietly burning our lives. Join in the fun for them. They finished eating. Our lives are also burned up. 27. If it were me. Talking too much. At the end of the story. I just talked nonsense for a while. Please just be the chimney on my stove. Although the mouth was spitting out black ash vigorously. My heart is still red and hot. 28. These are his three absolute perfections. Lotus seeds. Teardrops. Our marriage. 29. This drop of red tear. It's not the sorrow after farewell. But it is the pain before gathering. 30. They cut my flesh. Taking risks to capture ye's branches. Brutally inserted into my stem. Even though I have scars from galls now. But flowers bloom that had never bloomed before. How cruel and clever they are. But every time I glance out at the people looking at the flowers. Rolling your eyes up and down. While looking at my stem. My face turned red. Trinity. Oh, brain. Engraved with Chong Shu Niao seal. A demonic stone. It is the sharpening stone for my sword. I also love the rocks in the river. My love. This is another boundary stone between us. 3-2. The cold star. Such a mess. My love. Our destiny. It's all at your mercy here. 3-3. The long night at the end of winter. Finally waited until dawn. It's still a cold piece of ice. The leaden sky. Where can I see the sun? Love. Cry. Cry. This is our future. 3 or 4. I am the furious sea god. You are a small boat caught by me. My love surges up and down. I smile and watch you bump. My thousands of heads. Bite you with its gleaming white teeth. Bite you to pieces. Then he swallowed it with the chong belt and the rudder. 3-5. The nighthawk screams. The north wind slaps the door knocker. Tear off the window paper. Hitting the wall. Lifting the roof tiles. You have to break in. The red candle just kept weeping blood and tears. Condensed into a large pile of red stalactites. Love. You there? Come and cut off those dark cloud-like candle flowers. Hurry up and hold your bare hands. Protect this trembling candle flame. Love. You there? 36. When I tell you. I was in Yuxiao Yabin. In the melodious music. Lifting Yi's red cover with my own hands. I once wore a silver candle. Yi's phoenix hairpin is captured on the side. Ibi asked in Yi's ear. Do you recognize me? Friends. When you listen to me tell these stories, I am in your smile again. I recognize your selfish envy. 37. This is better than my new guy. Who is gentle? From the double happiness words hollowed out on the stove surface. Spit out a winding line of fragrant seal. 38. You wake up from your nap. There are red and concave lines on the face. I'm afraid it's chained. Menghunter. I kiss your cheek. Then I kissed your dream. This may also be the most memorable scene in Wen Yiduo's career. 39. If I paint Yi's portrait, I don't allow any artifacts. Defiled Yi's jade body. I am not using a painter's naked eye. See the beauty of Yi in a set of curves. But I want to describe the girl I often dream about. A psychic, pure, naked angel. So to avoid any misunderstanding, I also want to call Yi Liangshang. Give birth to a pair of wings. If anyone doesn't understand yet, then he mistook Yi for a colorful phoenix. That's okay. 40. If at dusk, suddenly there was a storm with thunder and lightning. Don't be afraid, my love. I will hold your hand tightly. Go to the window and sit side by side. Let's not say a word. We just stared at our own love, meeting on the horizon. It struck like a golden arrow of light. Blind our own eyes. April 1st. Some are sour, some are sweet, some are bitter, and some are spicy. The beans are all red. The taste is different. Let Li Jiao taste the spicy ones first. It was painful and we swallowed it whole. It's as sour as a plum. Might as well chew it carefully to quench our thirst. It's sweet. Ah! Give all the sweet red beans to your neighbors to make seeds. 42. I have sung all kinds of songs. I just forgot about you. But my songs should become newer and more beautiful as I sing them. These are the most beautiful songs sung at the end. One word, one pearl. One word, one tear. My queen. Forget it, I will atone for my sins. I kneel down.